How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video on Coaster Extra. In today's video, we are going to be analysing Storm Chaser as the POV was released just yesterday at the time of recording. Before we get into it, just remember that if you never want to miss another important update like this, leave a like and consider subscribing with notifications on, just so that you can never miss an important update like this. Now let's get into it. Okay, so we are going to play this POV, which is such a cool thing, made by Paultons Park, of course. Yes, just a quick disclaimer, all footage in this video of Storm Chaser does belong to Paultons Park. It is an official POV made by Paultons. Go check out their YouTube channel, the link is in the description. Go subscribe to them, I'm sure they'd really appreciate it too. Now let's play this POV. There it is, the official Storm Chaser POV. Isn't it amazing? Now we are going to get straight into analysing. So we're going to skip back to the beginning. We're also going to mute the soundtrack despite it being amazing. We just want to hear about the analysis more than that. Okay, now we are going to start by mentioning that it is a ride manufactured by Mack Rides, which is quite a well-known manufacturer, and this is their family spinning coaster model. Now, yes, this coaster does spin. The POV doesn't seem to be spinning, and the POV is also a horizon-leveled POV, which means the camera stays flat throughout the layout, despite how banked the turns get. Okay, this is just a different style of POV to a standard POV. I'm sure Paultons Park just wanted to feel a bit smoother and a bit easier to take in all the scenery. Also, it seems that the camera is not mounted on the actual coaster train itself, and rather on the wheels, or the bit below the wheels attaching to the chassis of the ride, because the camera does not appear to be spinning while the ride does. Okay, now what we are going to do is we're going to play through, and I'm going to talk about each of the elements. Okay, so we start with a flat turn out of the station. This goes to the right. Then we go up this chain lift hill. This takes you to 65 feet tall, and it takes you to the highest part of the ride, of course, doing so. Okay, so it just climbs and climbs and climbs, and 65 feet is quite high for a family coaster, so it's not too bad. Okay, and once you are up the lift hill, you go round a flat turn to the right, then round a banked left turn to in like a curved drop, then up a banked left hill, up another hill slightly banked to the left, and then round this massive curved drop to the right into this really steep helix. Then we go round into a helix to the left. This takes you right to the bottom of the ride. Then you bank to the right, then you bank back to the left, go round another small helix, and then round a right-hand banked turn into the final brake run. And that's the ride layout analysed, but that's not all there is to the ride. There's also a ton of theming to take in. So let's skip right back to the beginning again, and let's cover some of that theming. Okay, so first, we've got a few other rides in the area that you can see from out the station. We've got the Cyclonator over here, and this is a Zamperla gyro swing. This is one of the most thrilling rides at Paultons, and I'm sure it's going to be great to get on, giving you great views of the area. You can also see we've got this play park here, and no, this isn't as interesting as some of the bigger rides. It still adds to the theming of the area, and I'm sure the little kids coming to Paultons will enjoy it as it is a family marketed park. Okay, now we're going to play through and cover any more theming throughout the layout. Okay, so we're going up the chain lift hill, and you can see that these electricity pylons, these are not real electricity pylons. They do not transport any electricity. They just add to the theming of this American Western town. Okay, so we're climbing further and further up the lift hill. Now you can see on top of this roof here, we've got like armchairs and hay bales and stuff flung around by the tornado, as this area is called Tornado Springs, and the theming, as it suggests, is based around tornadoes. So this coaster, as it spins, that also fits that theme, and it just works well together. Okay, let's keep going up the lift hill. Okay, so at the top of the lift hill, you can see this row of buildings round the back, and I'm not too sure if these are used for anything. However, they add to the feel of the area, and it's not a completely like jarring modern building or anything. Because these buildings were pre-existent, and they are part of a building called, a row of buildings I should say, called Show Street. And this is basically where the 4D cinema is located, and around the other side is like this kind of like not really American, but like this kind of high street style thing with a cinema in it and cool stuff like that. But they didn't just keep that around the other side. They made it into a new facade around the other side, and it just makes the theming of this area just flow, which is great. Okay, let's keep playing this POV through. You can see there is the Tornado Springs entrance sign. Now, obviously, you can't see it that well because we are moving quite fast at this point, but that is the Tornado Springs entrance sign from that direction, and it looks great. Okay, up we come, and down and up. And here, below this track, we seem to have a small head chopper element. Especially if you've got your hands up, that's going to feel like you're going to want to duck at that moment. There we go. And down this drop, and you can see there's all these like kind of canyon-y style rocks that you dive through near the middle of, and it's just really cool. Let's keep playing. Okay, and you can also see this big building here is Buffalo Falls, and this is kind of like a river raft ride that goes down these hills, and at the bottom you get off and you put your boat up a little conveyor belt for the next people to ride on. It's actually a really cool ride. But it was originally called the Wave Runner, but for Tornado Springs, they rethemed it to Buffalo Falls, and it's a good move that they did, because it would not have fit without that. It being so close to the area with just blue supports would not have worked. But this massive building they built up around it really does add to it, and it really, really makes the theming flow. It makes you think that while you're in this area, this is the whole park, but it's not. Okay, let's keep going. Around this helix, getting more interaction with those rocks we saw. And here we've got a run of head choppers. All these supports that the other track is going over act as head choppers, and I'll show you this now. Head chopper, head chopper, head chopper, head chopper. And the best one is here. There is a support here. That's going to be a head chopper. There's a support there. There's track going over you. There's track going over in the other direction if you look. This is going to be a run of head choppers, and it looks so intense this moment. And around this little helix, and you can see we got these kind of animals here. They're not like any real animals or anything. They're not even meant to look like real animals. They are rusted cutouts, and it just adds to the American Western theme of things with this water pool here. But that's not real water. Nothing wrong with that. If that was real water, it would probably get all manky and dirty and horrible, and like it just wouldn't work. But it's not real water. They've thought about these things, and the shrubbery around and everything just adds to it. Let's keep playing. You can see it's just such an immersive coaster. And you can also just take in the track colour for a bit. because the track colour actually really works with the theme of the area. It's quite similar to the Flight of the Pterosaur track colour, but it works. This track colour works perfectly in the area that it is in. It works so perfectly, and I cannot wait to get on this coaster. It is going to be so amazing. It looks, honestly, like one of the best coasters at Paultons, if not the best. And this whole area as general, it just is absolutely stunning, the amount of effort and work they put into theming this. It is just so incredible. Like, just look, if we go back to the lift hill, just look at all these buildings that they've made just for Tornado Springs. Those aren't rides. They spent enough money on the rides as themselves, but they've spent even more just to make this area look perfect. And this is what I love about Tornado Springs. I cannot wait to get to Tornado Springs. It is going to just be so good. And the soundtrack that you heard at the start of the video, it's so amazing. It just fits with the Western theme of the ride, the Western American theme, perfectly. And I really cannot wait to get on this. And that is going to bring us to the end of the video there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out Paultons Park's channel, because I'm sure they'd really appreciate a subscribe for this amazing footage. It is really good, and if you never want to miss something like this, I would recommend subscribing to them, and also subscribing to me for industry updates, channel updates, ride sims, and more. Also join my Discord server. It is the first link in the description. And that is going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.